What are your views on religion?
Religion.
Like the mainstream religion?
Okay, basically, I think that all mainstream religion is bad. I personally, I don't think religion should be um, structured by any sort of organization. I think spirituality is something that's personal. You know, whether you believe in God, whether you don't believe in God, whether you might believe in God, whether you believe in something that might be seen as God, but you may not call God. I think that's 100% up to the individual. I don't trust any organization that says we have the one true path to enlightenment, and ours is the only true way, and if you don't follow our way, um, you're going to hell, or you'll be doomed to reincarnate for the rest of eternity, or whatever. And I think that that's a means to control people.
All religion.
All organized religion.
All organized religion.
All organized religion. Yeah.
So, take it you wouldn't call yourself religious.
Not particularly. No.
What would you call yourself?
I I'm religious in a sense, but I would say spiritual probably more
Spiritual.
more appropriately labels me.
Like, well, what do you believe in? You believe in Jesus and God and...
I believe I believe that there is some sort of, I don't want to say a higher power, because I don't think that it's something that's more important than the individual. I'd say that there's something out there that's beyond the physical experience, and I believe that that something is conscious, and I believe that we're all connected to it. You can call it God, you can call it the divine, you can call it whatever. I like to call it God, even though it doesn't necessarily fit the mainstream view of what God is. As far as Jesus goes, I do believe there was a character, well, not a character, I do believe there was uh, a historical person that existed that the Jesus story is based on, but I think the character of Jesus is completely fabricated um, in order to fit the idea of what a divine human being would be. And you know, it's possible maybe he did some miracles, maybe he didn't. I don't really know, but I think if he did miracles, it's definitely been exaggerated over time. And it's definitely been exaggerated as far as the publishing of the Bible, because I think the whole reason for the publishing of the Bible was in order to create an organized version of Christianity.
Why would you want to do that?
In order to control people, because before there was a published Bible, there were several different accounts of the Gospels, and several of them didn't make it into the Bible. There was only 4 that made it into the Bible. The reason they chose the particular ones that they did is because it makes Jesus seem the most divine. It also instills the control aspect, in the sense of where Jesus says in one of them, actually I think it's 2 of them, he says, I am the way, the path, or something to that effect. No one reaches the Father except through me. In other words, it's impossible to get to God unless you believe in Jesus. And that was left in the official Bible for that particular reason, so that people will say, well, I guess, I can't be religious unless I'm Christian. It's also been interpreted as if you don't believe in Jesus, you go to hell, which is, of course, completely asinine, because why would God set up a situation where there are people who never have and never will hear about this person, Jesus Christ? Why would God set up a situation where these people it would be impossible for them to get into heaven? So I do believe that there was a person named Jesus. I do believe he was a very spiritual person, a
Do
very
you
holy
believe
person.
that he was God?
I believe he was God in the sense that I'm God, in the sense that you're God.
Right.
We're all connected to God. We all have the capacity of infinite wisdom, infinite love, infinite truth, infinite power. It's just in our human form, we're very limited. I believe it's possible to open that up so that we can be less limited. Like maybe it is possible to walk on water. Maybe it is possible to turn water into wine. I definitely believe it's possible to heal people using the power of your mind.
Like a placebo effect, kind
Probably, yeah, like a placebo
of?
effect.
You believe it to work.
If you believe it to work, it's definitely going to work. I think that's how faith healing works.
Yeah.
And it's not, they're not really casting demons out of the person. It's just that the person believes that the reason they're sick is because they have demons in them. The preacher says, "Demons, be gone," and they believe the demons are gone, and therefore they get better. And they can see again, or they can walk again, or whatever. So I believe the same thing is true for stigmata. I think stigmata is real, but not because Christianity or particularly Catholicism is real. I think stigmata is real because the people are such devout Catholics that they cause the wounds of Jesus to appear on their hands and on their head and on their feet. Yeah.
So what do you think about the whole Jesus, Mary Magdalene thing?
I believe...
And why is it so important that the church, says that he was never married? Why is that so important to maintain? I'm not saying he was or wasn't married. I'm just saying, why is it so important that they maintain that he wasn't married?
Well, originally, the reason it was important for the church to maintain that Jesus was not married was to control sex. They wanted to repress sex as much as they possibly could. If Jesus was a normal married man and had a wife, he would have had sex with her.
Mm-hmm.
Probably, and Jews even today consider sex a very holy thing. It's something, it's a gift from God. It's pleasurable because God wants us to have pleasure in our sex. The Christian church doesn't like that. That for some reason they want us to repress our sexual desires. So that's the original reason why why the church made the idea of Jesus being celibate. Now they couldn't erase his wife from the Bible because she, a man's wife is a very integral part of his life. His wife happened to be Mary Magdalene.
So you do believe they were married?
I do believe that they were married. It's highly improbable for a Jewish man of that age to not be married.
And he was a rabbi, right?
Yeah, he was a rabbi. Yeah, true. He was a rabbi also, and rabbis were actually required to be married. It was even if he wasn't a rabbi, it would have been highly uncommon for him not to be married.
Right.
And if he was, it would mention it in the Bible. It doesn't.
If he was
if he was single, it would mention it in the Bible, and it doesn't. Peter.
Peter.
It mentions that Peter was single.
Because it was unusual.
Because it was unusual. It doesn't mention that Jesus was single.